welcome back to Roguecraft here on Musicfreegaming. It's great to have you here. Today's the day, y'all. A while back, I brought all of these happy little frogs, and I've just left them tied up here in the nether because that seemed like a thing to do. But today, they get to reach their potential. I am going to be building a froglight farm. That's right. It's going to happen. It's time. And the first thing I need to do is figure out where exactly I'm going to set up the farm, and then maybe get some of these frogs over there. So that's the plan. Will it work? It should. Honestly, this shouldn't be too complicated. So let's get to it. All right. Frogs are leashed up, and we are on our way. And look at those little guys go, man. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the white frogs, for the pearlescent frog lights. I'm just not close enough to any place warm to breed those frogs. So, unfortunately, my farm is going to be short one type of light until I get some other frogs in. But I didn't want to wait. I have plans. I have frog lights. I have serpentine. No, I've got things I need to do. So, at least maybe I have things I need to do. And you can see by all of the happy fun dust, we are here. So, time to leash all of the frogs and try to figure out where this is going to lay out. Now, you'll notice, first off, this is a basalt delta. Thanks to, you can see it kind of up in the corner of my mini HUD. This is a basalt delta. This is not a magma spawner. I didn't realize they could stand on the torches. All right, well, that's weird. Anyway, this isn't a magma spawner. Those are really awesome to build these in. But I didn't want to go hunt for one. I wanted one close. So it's going to be a little bit, maybe lower power perhaps. But I'm going to build it here in the basalt delta. The magma cubes are going to spawn, so it's going to be fine. So that's the plan of plans, I suppose. So time to get started. All right, so step one for this farm is to build the collection system. So we'll get standard hopper minecart collection system. It's going to run around down here. What I haven't set up is the minecart unloader, which is going to go over here. And this block will probably change just for aesthetic reasons, but I wanted to put it in place to make sure I knew where everything was going to go. The next bit that's going to come up here is not all the powdered snow, not all of this stuff, is a floor for the frogs to be on. So let's go ahead and grab our shulker box, and I'm going to just make this out of deep slate. Why deep slate? Because I don't want to have a plan. I don't know. It just seemed like a good idea. Plus, it looks cool, and I'm not going to use a lot of deep slate for much else. So we're going to start there and cover all of this up with deep slate. And this is where the frogs are going to live. And this is going to be the kill area for all of the magma cubes that are going to spawn in and end up in froggy bellies. Because remember, that's how you get frog lights, is the frogs eat your mini magma cubes, and then you get the frog lights out. So, because apparently that's just how frogs end up digesting the magma cubes. So they're all going to end up down here. I think what I might do too is add just a little bit of like a stage door for the frogs, a way to add more frogs, because as I said, I don't have any white ones, and I'm going to want to add some of those later. So I'm going to have to build in some sort of plan here. But for now, let's just throw a little torch spam to keep a few of those annoying ghasts and other things from spawning up here. All right, so the next step is to get an iron golem in place. So I've built up this this nice little place for him to stand. Golem's going to get here. Now, in theory, when I put this on, the Golem's going to drop right down into that collection of walls. There we go. And should live a long, happy life just watching the magma cubes come. So, there's our bait. The next thing to do, now that the bait's in place, is to build up the walls around the outside here, and then basically some spawning paths that the magma cubes are going to spawn on, and then they'll walk over this way and eventually fall into the pit where the frogs will eat them. But there is some other magic that's going to happen, and I'll show you how all that's going to work once I get this first round of walls up. So the walls are up. Now, the next step will be to get the frogs in, but before I can do that, I need to do something to keep the frogs from coming out, but to actually deal with the magma blocks when they fall in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use powdered snow. And I'm just going to line this whole thing with powdered snow. Now, I've seen a number of tutorials, a number of things that take these and, oh, you can go every other block. And you can. You can 100% go every other block, and that's fine. I'm not doing that. And the reason I'm not doing that is that by going every block, it sort of cools down the frog's AI just a little bit. So the frogs will see, oh, there's something above my head. Don't jump. Right? Because frogs are massive lag machines. They are crazy. And I don't want the frogs to jump out of the farm because they've got hops, so to speak. Seriously. Them frogs got them hops, I'll tell you. So by putting a full layer of snow, it keeps the frogs sort of, I don't know, stuck. They basically look at this and say, well, there's a layer of snow above my head. I just can't jump through that. Because frogs are totally all southern and stuff. And that'll sort of keep them in place. Fortunately, I have 3 shulkers of powdered snow. So there's that one down. Time to get the next one. And we're just going to fill this thing up with snow. All right, I have a little bit of a frog loading system now in place. Is it the best system in the world? No. But you can load up the frog into the minecart, pop open the trapdoor, turn on the thing so the minecart gets up the hill, and then this pops the frog out, so we close that, close the trapdoor so they don't walk out again. Now, in theory, they wouldn't necessarily walk over the rails, but they do. So they end up out here. Now, could this be a little bit of a problem for maybe losing some mob drops in here? Yes. Yes, it can. And I could maybe, once I've got the frogs loaded, set up a piston or a sticky piston to close this wall up. For now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I do want to add one more comment about the frogs. So you saw one just as I was speaking. They sort of, right, they jump into the snow. But because the snow is there, they're not going to try to go full super height jumps. And the snow is going to slow them down. But also, they're not in it long enough for them to take damage. Okay? Right? They go in, oh, cold, and they're back out. You have to linger in powdered snow for a little while for it to hurt them. So they're all going to be just fine. So I'm going to come down here, grab a couple more frogs, and load up a couple of these orange ones in there. It's going to be great. All right, finally got the last couple of frogs in there. I've got 2 spares sitting outside, but these guys are going to hang out here. And these should be enough for what I need for now. I am going to try to get a couple of white ones to load in here so I can get some pearlescent frog lights. But for now, It's going to be ochre and verdant. So that's the plan. But, you know, not fabulous. But, no, heck, these frogs are fabulous. These are fabulous frogs. But I do need to get the third ones just so I can get all the colors. Now, here comes the fun. Next thing I need to do is get the spawning chambers for the magma blocks. And those are going to come up here. So time to get started on that. Okay, so this is the first platform done. And, you know, got a little decorative, right? With the walls and the glass. And then I've got these glass blocks over top. This is gas spawning. I want to keep gas from popping up over this. So I'll be doing that over all of the platforms. And also continue it here over the, you know, the happy iron golem. He seems like a happy guy, just hanging out there. Also, it's been kind of fun. I've had a few mobs spawn, or mobs, yeah, the magma cubes spawn, and the frogs have been happily eating them, so it's been great. So, good news is that part of the farm works. So I'm just going to build out the other other three sides, and then I get to start making sure the collection system and all that works. So, fun times. Alrighty, now I've got the storage system in place. Minecart's running. It comes up typical impulse SV sorter to all of the fun chests up front. I need to get a couple of magma blocks to throw out here. As I said, I don't have the verdant frog lights over here. I guess I can block this off. It's a little off center. Maybe I'll do something because I only have 8. I have 8 things that I'm sorting, and I've got 9 slots. It happens, but all in all, though, it's working. Nothing's spawning in here at the moment, but the frogs are absolutely doing their thing, which is great. I am starting to get some frog lights, though they're still trapped in the filters. The next thing I need to do is go up and build the AFK spot. So that's, I guess, the next thing to do. All right, so I'm up at my new AFK spot. Got a little bit of lid. I shouldn't need it, but, you know, just in case. But you follow this thing all the way down. I'm going to leave that post there just so I can see it. But yeah, now you can see all the magma cubes hopping down. Right? They drop down, they hit the snow. Yeah, the iron golem hits a couple of them, but they drop in. The big ones, of course, freeze in the snow, but so do the middle-sized ones because they're just barely bigger than a block. And then the little ones get eaten by the frogs. And the frogs are totally fine because the magma blocks don't attack them. They don't see them as a threat because, hey, anything that eats your little bitty pieces couldn't possibly be a threat to you, right? Totally. Anyway, so I've now have happy eating frogs. I'm getting frog lights. I'm getting some the other magma juice stuff, those things. So I forgot what it's called. You know, magma gunk. That's a thing. So anyway, so that's how this is going. So now, if I can make sure my wings are deployed, get down here. Yes, you can see that whole mess. And if I pop in here, I should be able to start seeing. Okay. Nothing has hit the chests yet because of the. I still have to fill up the filters. Yeah, so magma creams, I've got 19 of those. 31 there. So yeah, it's just starting. So I just need one more frog light there to fill the filter. That one's full. That one's full. So I should start. Hello. Okay, I think I'm going to have to definitely put a lid on the top of that. Well, also all of these are spawnable, and that's not great. So, but yeah, see, I'm starting to get some frog lights. Now they're coming in here because I don't have enough iron to get back and run them all the way down this way. But they are starting to fill up. So this is wonderful. And I really like the the yellow. That's going to be perfect, I think, for a couple things I've got going on. So, sweet. Sweet, sweet. All right. So there we go. There's that project almost done. I just have to get back here with a few more hoppers and just fill up the back here for all the chests. But other than that, I think this project is done, and that is a fabulous feeling. So we go get the hoppers, clean up my mess, and maybe we'll see what else to do. So I said I was going to go off and do something else, but before I did that, I said, well, let me AFK up here for a little bit and take a look at the footage I recorded, you know, all that fun stuff. And then I came down here, and right now my player's up at the AFK spot. I'm free camming down, looking at all of the fun magma cubes that are, you know, having some fun and excitement. And I ran into an issue. As I was looking down here, you know, the frogs were doing their thing. I was not keeping up with all of the drops, right? The hopper minecart was going through, and it was whipping up on top of my sorting system. And basically the minecart filled up, and I wasn't collecting anything else. It was not great. So what I decided to do is change the sorting system. So what I've got now, the minecart still, of course, whips around underneath all the floor, and it comes over here to this unloading system. So it unloads the minecart, which gets loaded over here into a dropper elevator, and the dropper elevator then feeds a hopper chain, which goes into the sorter. So far, this seems to keep up pretty well with the drops. I've got to watch it for a little while. So right now, the minecart is still unloading, just launched, and these magma cubes have big butts. But now it's coming through here. It's really hard to get a view, but it seems to be keeping up a lot better with the drops. So I'm not losing what I was. So it looks like this is going to keep up. Now, speaking of keeping up, I think I need to add a few more frogs. Because just while I'm up here, the little frogs, or the frogs don't seem to be quite keeping up. We're just barely keeping up with the tiny magma cubes. But I do need to add 2 or 3 more frogs in so I can get the pearlescent frog lights. So I think once I get those in, I'll have 9 frogs in here. I think that will pretty well take care of things. Hopefully. I did move in my other, you can see I've got 3 of my orange frogs. I've got 3 green frogs in here too. So once I add the white ones and get the pearlescent frog lights, I think this is going to be okay. But yeah, having to re-rig this was just annoying. But I think we've got it taken care of, and I am getting a lot of frog lights. So after AFK-ing, well, shoot, for just a couple of minutes, I've got a bunch of the green ones. Check that out. A lot of the ochre, and that's filling up really fast. I did set this up so I've got lights when the thing is going. So it gets a little flashy, which is fun. I've got some gaps here. That's where the pearlescent frog lights are going to go for sorting. But yeah, starting to get some magma creams too for fire resist potions if I choose. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. Is it perfect? Yeah, no, because I still have to get some more frogs. But at least it's keeping up now. So that's a win. That's a win. So now I guess I'll go AFK and see how this goes. But I think this is actually in pretty good shape. All right, before I go for this video, I wanted to show you one more thing, and it is here through my nether portal down here. And I've been working a little bit on this area, and this is going to be the location for my new villager trading hall. Also, piglin bartering hall. It's going to be here too. Because there are plenty of piglins around. It's going to be great. So, for the moment, I've got the small issue of, well, pigs and trees, really, is definitely an issue. But at least this area isn't spawnable. The floor underneath is, and I'll be dealing with that. And I still need to cut down some trees, because I don't need tree pigs falling on my head. But this is going to be the next thing. And the plan here is to come in with a bunch of things, but bone blocks, for example. And of course, that one's placed wrong, but I'm going to use bone blocks. I'm going to use some warped wood, deep slate, all sorts of fun stuff. And that's going to be the plan. So this is going to take a little while to build up before I can bring the villagers in. But it is going to be awesome. On the plus side, we can sit here and watch as the hoglins just absolutely decimated that poor little piglin. But, you know, we gotta get some excitement under the show floor here. But this is going to be fun. So that is the next thing I've got going on. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching the video. Of course, like the video, subscribe. You know how this works, right? Yeah, sure you do. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Until then, be excellent to each other. And this is Musicfreegaming signing off.